Yeah, my name is Richard Livega, director for Buseesa demonstration farm. Basically, this farm started in 2014. Our main target was to cause social transformation and the development within the area, which we are still moving on with. And our areas of concern in this demonstration farm, we have cattle rearing, especially these Frisian cows, where we expect to get some milk. And we have poultry projects, we have goats projects, we have fish farming, we have hash avocado, coffee plantations. We also have banana plantations, rabbitry, hatchery, beehives. It is called apiary. We look after bees. Then we have pasture gardens. So why do we have that? Our main concern in this was to demonstrate what His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is trying to teach people. If they want to cause social transformation and they get income at household level, we need to move this way. The 4-acre model, how we have tried to demonstrate it here, we looked at having zero grazing in cattle rearing. And this zero grazing, the good thing with it, the cow is restricted from moving further distances. And that means there is limited calories lost during when they are moving, when they are not moving. So by feeding them from here, you are able to monitor it, you are able to see the parasites that are disturbing it, and its weight gain is very faster. And even in milk production, these cows can give lots of milk. Like this cow of ours is around 45%, and it gives us 14 liters in a day. But our target is to make sure that we improve on the breed. Now, when we go to poultry, the best project in poultry should be in layers. When you deal with layers, the input is much higher in the first 4 months. But after the 4 months, you begin now harvesting. If I can give a simple calculation, the layers, 2,000 layers, if you look after them very well, you can invest in around 13 million. And if you calculate it in a year, you can get around 43 millions. So that means it is a business that has maximum gains. Then we have also broilers, but when you look at broilers, it might be a bit, the input is a bit higher compared to how much you put into layers, and it is a bit costly. So I would implore people to deal with layers if you have capacity, and I believe everybody has that capacity. Provided you come at our farm, Buseesa demonstration farm, we can give you knowledge, we can give you where you can buy them from, and we can give you the inputs that are required for you to get those maximum gains. We have value addition activities here. One of the value addition activities is the use of biogas. In our organization, we try to avoid wastage of resources. So by use of this dung from goats, from these dairy cattle, we make sure that we generate energy from the biogas, which saves us from spending money into buying this firewood. And also it is environmentally friendly. We are trying to conserve the environment, because if we started getting firewood from the forest for this team I'm looking after, I have a total number of over 40 workers. Now if we started cutting trees, if we started looking for firewood, you will find us now affecting the environment. So by use of these cow dungs, the goat dungs into energy, that adds value to the waste product now. We're also looking at, we have extra gardens around. We are trying to demonstrate that somebody within the smallest plot can have something to do in agriculture. Take, for example, use of Saka Mountain Gardens. We see the environment is being affected by these polythene bags. And for us here, we are making use out of them. You find us also using these bottles. You can design a garden within your courtyard, within your veranda, so that using those bottles, and you plant there these vegetables. For example, like the nakati, we have the cabbages, the tomatoes, the onions. So you don't need to first get land. Even if you are renting somebody's land and you have a veranda around, you can make lots of innovations along that veranda. So we also trying to show people that you can develop. Development is possible. You can get a lot of money from these agricultural products, agricultural produce, if you really have standard. We are looking now, we are trying to implement what we call smart agriculture. Somebody will say now, Lubega, are you really an agriculturalist? Somebody is seeing me in a tie, in a coat, and we are trying to promote smart agriculture. If you go into my piggery project, you can even have your food and start eating. Why do you have to do that? Because we are using the latest technology of using indigenous microorganism. That is the IMO. That IMO has a science in it that the microorganisms you try to spray into the sty, it can consume the waste product of, that is the dung from the pig. And we put in the sawdust. This sawdust, its importance is to make sure that it absorbs the urine. It makes the dung dry quicker. Within 3 hours, the dung that has been dropped in will be dry when it is also being eaten up by the microorganism. That is the latest technology we are using. Also, we look at the use of the smallest area when you have protected it, the biosecurity. In any farm, if you want to do agriculture, the biosecurity should be taken as a priority. What do I mean by biosecurity? That is use of fence, use of drugs, disinfectants into your farm. For the fence, it helps to protect you from the external animals, from the external birds, even people from intruding into your farm. So that limits infections within your farm. Then at every entry of every structure, you need to have a biosecurity mechanism. That is using the disinfectants to control in case someone has gone into another farm, or in case someone has moved around and has stepped on an infected waste from a sick bird around. So by dipping your shoes, your gadgets into that disinfectant, it helps you to protect your farm from getting affected. Now, our farm here, we are not just working on at the level of consumption. We are also looking at working extensively to have maximum gains. That's why you see now we have around that last stock of layers. We have around one is to have averagely 30 trays per day. And if 30 trays are got per day, that means you expect a lot of income out of it, and the development is going to be made easier. For fisheries, I would implore people to go into fisheries, because this is a project that you need to put in less, but you get maximum gains. As looking at my ponds, I stocked around 6,000 fingerlings, and in a year, I expect at least to get averagely net profit of around 55 million out of the 6,000 fish we stocked. So if you look at the input, because for us here, why we do this? Because we have records. I'm able to know how much I have invested in the fish farm and how much I'm getting as the net profit. In that pond, the 6,000 fingerlings, if I can look at the input, how much I spend, it's not more than 5.5 million. That is for buying the fingerlings, the feeds, and we're also having some innovations how we feed these fish using our local feeds, and this, when we get time, we shall have to reach there. Now we are looking at also having a standard banana plantation where you can use these local waste materials, the dungs, as manure and apply into our garden. So we are trying to make everything standard. Now, what are we planning to have in the future? Where are we heading to? Now, Buseesa Demonstration Farm is trying to explore all its chances that we bring in these latest technologies and try to influence the community into commercial farming. Even if you have a small plot, you can do commercial farming. That's why we are insisting onto this. And in November this year, around 14th, we are going to host the president onto this farm. Reason being, he is going to be launching a 4-acre model project within the Greater Kiwale, including Kikuve. So we have been selected to host the president because of how best we have made this environment possible to suit into the principles of a 4-acre demonstration farm. Therefore, we are calling upon all people around and people outside there. Let us try to embrace the backbone of Uganda, which is agriculture. There's no way we can survive if we don't improve in our skills and everything.